My name is Lynn VanderMeulen. I'm a Toronto-based artist, and I work in quite a few different mediums. I kind of consider it to be a collage-based approach to installation art, sculpture, digital media, and currently I'm mostly working with Unity technologies to create environments and atmospheres which can be experienced as still images, as exploratory VR and AR experience, and videos. Through my practice, I kind of draw a connection between materials that are super synthetic, elements of product packaging, party supplies, plastic, things that really surrounded me, I guess, in my childhood and still now. And then combining that with really fantastic moments in nature that are a little bit harder to find. So, experiencing something super small like a beautiful insect wing or a flower petal, or seeing images from the deep sea, outer space, kind of trying to create an environment that sort of meets in the middle and really amplifies the idea of this fantastic other world. Before I started working in 3D, I had been doing quite a lot of event installations, so a lot of them were DIY for local music shows or festivals, different branded installations and murals, things like that, and I just had felt totally exhausted and my work was just physically draining, and I was working on such short timelines. I felt like I couldn't come up with any new creative ideas. So I took a class through Trinity Square Video. It's a gallery and workspace in Toronto, and I took a class to learn how to use Unity. I took an introduction to Blender, and I took some Resolume workshops for doing live visuals. And it really inspired me. I feel the best creatively when I can work just between many different types of ways of making at the same time. So when I can work on things that are physical and in a physical space and then go into a digital space, I find that those works really inform each other. These ideas have really flowed from different ways of making throughout the years. So sometimes it's been really small iterations like collages or paintings, sometimes a bit larger with murals, street arts, sculptural installations, sets for photo shoots, moving into digital with filters, AR apps, video loops, and then back into installation by installing the video with an installation. So my work kind of self-references in a lot of ways. So within my Unity projects, I'm using documentation to texture the landscapes and objects that are created within the scene. So I'll take documentation of these event installations, of the collages, paintings, small sculptures, and sort of texturize the elements to really connect back with the other work that I'm already making. And that's important to me because working in so many different mediums, I feel like it's very important for me to have some kind of consistency of the theme and of the visual idea. In my work, I've always felt that I kind of work best when I'm really surrounded by what I'm working on, whether it is a sculpture or a digital piece. It really doesn't work for me to just have nothing, a clean slate. I really like building off of what's there, so you'll see in my Unity landscape it's extremely hectic. I'm sure that pretty much anybody who is trained in this program would just think this is a total nightmare, which to me sometimes it can be too, but I find comfort in what I've already made, and I think my insecurity with using the program, this really helps me feel comfortable knowing that, I have already made something here and I can keep building off of that instead of starting fresh every single time. something really exciting about that is that I kind of feel that every time I leave the program and come back in, I can see things in a new way. I can kind of zoom around the landscape and see different angles of things, see how kind of like the nature elements are affecting my camera, like, zooming in through the water, going through fog, or, moving plants. And I feel like that's really inspiring, and that's actually usually how I end up finding the stage of the work, if that makes sense, like where the camera should end up. It's not usually planned properly. Like, I don't normally set up the camera and then build the scene around where the camera is sat. It's kind of more of a building and sensing and, I guess, an intuition-based relationship with the program. I think that having that vulnerability of, not necessarily knowing a program from the kind of technical standpoint that you would need to approach it if you were, say, like an actual game designer. I think that really works for me in a way, because most of my practice outside of the computer as well is really about exploring and trying and failing and kind of finding the success in the errors of the work. Thank you so much for taking the time to explore my practice. I just can't wait to see all of the beautiful work that comes out of the software community.